So here we are in 2026, and Chrysler has officially brought back the Town Country nameplate. A name that's been synonymous with American family vans for decades has returned after nearly a 10-year hiatus. But the big question is, was it worth the wait? Let's talk about what's under the hood. Chrysler is giving us two powertrain options this time around. First, a refined version of their tried and true 3.6-litre Pentastar V6, now making around 295 horsepower, paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission. The second option, and the one that's really drawing attention, is a new plug-in hybrid system, inspired by the Pacifica hybrid but enhanced for 2026. We're looking at an estimated 38 miles of electric-only range, with the gas engine kicking in seamlessly after that. Smooth, quiet, and surprisingly efficient for a vehicle this size. But raw numbers only tell part of the story. The way this van drives? That's the real surprise. Chrysler's engineers have clearly focused on ride quality and sound insulation. On the road, the new Town Country feels planted and composed, almost SUV-like in how it handles uneven pavement. Wind and road noise are minimal, even at highway speeds. And when you're gliding along in electric mode, it's almost eerily quiet. Step inside, and Chrysler isn't just dipping a toe into luxury, it's doing a cannonball. The cabin materials have taken a massive step up from what you might remember. There are available Napa leather seats with contrast stitching, real wood trim on the dash and doors, and a redesigned steering wheel that feels premium in the hand. You can tell Chrysler wants to compete with not just Honda and Toyota, but maybe even some of the more premium European MPVs, at least in spirit. And tech? It's everywhere. Front and center is a new 14.5-inch touchscreen running the latest Uconnect 6 system. It's fast, intuitive, and fully customizable. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are wireless, of course, but Chrysler's native interface is so smooth you might actually prefer using it. There's a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, augmented reality navigation, and a new rear seat entertainment system that streams Netflix, YouTube, and more directly via integrated 5G. The second and third rows haven't been left behind either. Chrysler has kept its signature stow-and-go seating for the second row, something most rivals have abandoned. That means the seats fold flat into the floor with ease, giving you an impressively flat load space without removing anything. The third row seats, meanwhile, now come with optional power folding and heating, and even USB-C ports built into the side pillars. Every passenger gets charging access. One of the biggest upgrades, though, might just be in the safety and driver assistance department. The Town Country now offers Chrysler's Highway Assist 2.0, a semi-autonomous driving system that combines adaptive cruise control, lane centering, and automated lane changes. It's smooth, predictable, and genuinely helpful on long trips. There's also a full surround view camera system, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, automatic parking, and even a drive monitoring system that watches for signs of fatigue or distraction. Let's not ignore the family-centric touches. Chrysler clearly hasn't forgotten who this van is for. There are storage cubbies literally everywhere. The underfloor bins are back, larger than ever, and now with optional removable liners that make cleaning up spills a breeze. There's a built-in vacuum system in the cargo area, a refrigerated center console option, and even an interior camera that lets the driver keep an eye on what's going on in the second and third rows via the main screen. Yes, it includes night vision mode too. Just in case someone thinks they can sneak snacks in the dark. Now, we've been driving the new Town Country for a week. City errands, highway drives, a few long-haul test routes. And what we've learned is this: Chrysler has gone to great lengths to blend comfort, utility, and technology in a way that makes you forget you're in a minivan. It's not trying to be something it's not, but it is trying to elevate the minivan experience to something aspirational. And in many ways, it succeeds. Let's talk numbers again. The base touring model starts at just under $42,000, which undercuts the top trims of many three-row SUVs. The plug-in hybrid version starts closer to $48,000, but qualifies for federal tax incentives, depending on your region. The fully loaded Pinnacle trim, which is what we're driving, tops out around $58,000 with every option box checked. Pricey? Sure. But when you consider what you're getting in terms of tech, efficiency, comfort, and practicality, it's still a better deal than some 7-seat SUVs that offer less real-world usability. Fuel economy for the V6 comes in at around 23 miles per gallon combined, which isn't bad for a van this size. The plug-in hybrid does 82 mph when you factor in electric driving, and about 30 miles per gallon once it switches over to gas-only mode. More importantly, the transition between F and gas is almost seamless. You'll barely notice it unless you're watching the gauge cluster carefully. Now, not everything's perfect. One area where Chrysler still has some work to do is in interior fit and finish in the lower trims. Some hard plastics are still hanging around, especially in the third row and cargo area. And while the stow and go system is incredibly practical, the second row seats aren't quite as plush or supportive as removable captain's chairs in rival vans. You're trading comfort for utility, and that trade-off may not be worth it for everyone. Also, while the hybrid powertrain is great for city use and short commutes, it can feel a little sluggish when the battery is depleted and you're relying solely on the gas engine. It's not a deal-breaker, but something to keep in mind if you're planning to drive mostly on long road trips without frequent charging. Charging, by the way, is simple. The van supports level 2 charging at up to 7.2 kilowatts, which gets you a full battery in around 2.5 hours. There's also a new charge sync app that lets you schedule charging, monitor usage, and even precondition the cabin while plugged in. Let's switch gears and talk competition. The Honda Odyssey, Toyota Sienna, and Kia Carnival are still very much in the game. The Odyssey remains the driver's van, refined, responsive, and built with Honda's typical attention to detail. The Sienna is a hybrid-only affair now, with great efficiency but a slightly drab interior. The Carnival arguably leads the pack in terms of design and features, but lacks an all-wheel drive option or a hybrid powertrain. Chrysler's Town Country manages to thread the needle. It combines the driving polish of the Odyssey, the hybrid option of the Sienna, and the family-focused design of the Carnival. Speaking of all-wheel drive, that's one surprise Chrysler didn't bring to the party. Despite rumors, the Town Country remains front-wheel drive only for now. Which is a shame, especially for buyers in snowy climates. Chrysler says the architecture wasn't designed for AWD, at least not in this generation. We'll see if they change their tune in a future update. Still, if you're buying a minivan today and you want a balance of efficiency, comfort, practicality, and modern tech, the 2026 Town Country is very hard to ignore. Chrysler has clearly used the lessons learned from the Pacifica and dialed them in here. It's a new generation for a nameplate that once dominated American driveways, and it feels like a real return to form. And if you're someone who grew up with one of these in the garage, sliding doors, rear seat arguments, VHS screens in the headrests, this new model feels like coming home, but upgraded for the future. It respects the minivan's roots while embracing the realities of modern family life. Yes, it's still a van, but it's not embarrassed about it. and it wants to prove that you shouldn't be, either. This van isn't trying to replace your SUV. It's trying to remind you why you bought an SUV in the first place and whether it actually delivers what you need. Most three-row SUVs can't match the cargo space, the passenger comfort, or the flexible seating arrangements that the Town Country offers. And when you factor in the lower step-in height, better visibility, and easier access for kids, it starts to look like a smarter choice all around. What we love most, though, is that Chrysler seems to believe in this product. This isn't just a rebadge or a Pacifica rehash. It's a clean, thoughtful redesign with clear intent. Chrysler's not trying to chase trends. They're owning what they do best, and in 2026, that means making the best damn minivan on the road. So where does it go from here? We've heard whispers of an all-electric version down the line. We've seen some test mules that suggest Chrysler is exploring a longer wheelbase model, possibly with more luxurious second-row seating. Maybe even a premium trim aimed squarely at luring families away from luxury SUVs. Time will tell. But for now, the 2026 Town Country gives us plenty to talk about, and even more to enjoy. Whether you're a longtime minivan fan, a practical parent, or just someone who wants to stop playing Tetris with your cargo every weekend, this van deserves a test drive. It might just change how you think about what a family vehicle can be. Because when you build it right and burn away the old expectations, a minivan doesn't have to be boring. It can be brilliant.